Hi folks, Bob Collins for Diver Supply. Like I told you in my last video about the HD Compact, that I was going to do a video about the other Aqualung HD BCDs. And here I have the Aqualung HD 2017, and I'm going to walk through a few of the features that it has. The one in the middle here, that is the men's new HD, and on the far side with the pink trim, that is the woman's HD. Now, there's a lot of similarities in the men's HD to the 2000 HD, and there's actually some similarities in the woman's HD to the Aqualung Pearl 2016. Now, we're going to take a look at the front. I'll talk about some of the common features, and then I'll address the other two BCs. We'll turn them around, take a quick look at the back, so you guys don't have to endure a lot of my discussion about these. I kind of put the information out there, easy for you to digest and figure out if one of these is meant for you. Now, the 2017 has been a very popular BC. It is a vest style, or sometimes known as a jacket style. There's a lot of terminology in scuba when you start talking about buoyancy control or buoyancy control devices. And in this particular case, this is called a jacket style. All three of these are, or better known as a vest style, because you put them on like a vest. There's also one that you put on similar to a vest that has the back inflate, like the Pro HD Compact. That was a back inflate, and we're going to be addressing these particular units here. Now, these are normally used most time by new divers, and they can definitely be used by experienced divers. So why in the world would somebody want a jacket style versus a back inflate? And I may have talked about this before in some of the videos, but I'm going to cover it quickly. So a jacket style, when you're on the surface and you inflate the BC 2/3 full, and maybe you're up there talking or you're waiting on the boat to pick you up, you're in a very comfortable upright position just floating there. And of course, one of the things as an instructor or instructor trainer, and as companies think about, if somebody panics in the water, they tend to do one thing, and that is press this inflate button. And so if this is inflated fully or almost fully, yes, it's going to have a tendency to squeeze you a little bit, but it's going to keep you in an upright position. With a back inflate BC, if you really inflate it a lot and you're not used to that back inflate, it has a tendency to want to push your face into the water because it becomes a big bubble. Because the vest or jacket style, the air even goes into these, what I call side bolsters here. So it goes all the way from here at the top, down across the back and into the bolsters here. So that's one reason a lot of the rental companies or the companies that train a lot of students use a jacket style. Now, can you dive in a jacket style? Of course you can. Neutral buoyancy is more about what's between your ears than necessarily what equipment you're wearing. Some of the equipment is beneficial to help you, like I described yesterday, help you move into that neutral position underwater, which is fine. But if you have conscious thought about your position, because remember, underwater we're not people, we're fish, and so we do things like a fish does, not like a people does. So when we look at these BCs, we look at those features that are appropriate for a jacket style. And again, that's what I was talking about about the way it inflates. Now, the 2017 HD has a right shoulder dump, like you see here. It has a pre-bent D-ring, and it's a pretty, I mean, it's a full-featured BC. It's got quick release. It doesn't have the circular pivot like some of the other Aqualung BCs out there. And when we come down, like I've already showed you yesterday, if you haven't seen the Pro HD compact video, all three of these units have this really good inflator. Is it really tiny? No, it's not really tiny. But because it's not really tiny, it's very easy to get the appropriate hand positioning on this for deflation and inflation. And of course, even for oral inflation. So now on the Pro HD, you'll notice that it does not have a pre-bent D-ring on here. None of these have pre-bent D-rings on the left side. They do that for two reasons. Number one, you've got some pockets here, so you don't need 14 D-rings on this unit. And of course, most new divers or experienced divers, they'll hang their light right here. They'll put an SMB down here on this bottom D-ring, that sort of thing. So they don't need a ton of D-rings for different things. So when we come down, we've got an octo pocket. One of the things I want to point out, and I think you can see this pretty good, this has a nice little stitching, and of course on this left side, Aqualung calls this a gear pocket and an octo pocket, because there are some places in the world they actually put the octos on the left instead of on the right. And if we look over here on this octo pocket, what I mean by octo pocket, there's a slot right here that you can fold the hose and slide it down into this little pocket instead of folding it and sticking it up underneath here. It's not necessarily the best thing to do with an octo. It's better to put it in a dedicated octo pocket. And there's also a D-ring right here that you could use an octo holder and put an octo holder on here to hold your mouthpiece, so it's a quick release that way. Like I said before, it's got a right shoulder dump on it, which is very effective. We come down here. All of these have really nice large pockets. You can put a signal mirror or a set of EMT shears or all kind of different stuff in here. And it's a double zipper system. And one of the things I think is kind of nice, it doesn't just start right here, it starts down here. So it's easier to get your hand on and unzip and then zip closed, that sort of thing. It's got the same Sure-Lock system that I showed you on the Pro HD Compact yesterday. One of the additional things that this one has, if I can get you to look right here, there is a D-ring, a plastic D-ring right there. I think I can get a good shot. And what that's for is when you take your pocket out, and when you're wearing this, then actually what you're going to do, and it's got the same track system like on the Compact. Now, there's an inflator hose jammed up in here. But when you close this and it goes to snap, you would use your right hand and you would be pulling this in with your right hand. I'm going to switch sides. So I would use my right hand to pull this in, and if I was wearing this, I would stick my finger in that D-ring so I could pull that way and push in the pocket this way. Hear that snap? That way it helps you close that and position that unit. Now, as we've seen before, all of these units have this cutting device or knife grommet holes, so you can mount a cutting device of some kind, which is really nice. But you'll notice that the 2017 has this kind of gray stitching on it. It has these blue accents, which are really attractive. And I think it's a really nicely done and nicely looking BCD. So let's pull the Pro HD Man over here. So here's our Pro HD men's version. Again, right shoulder dump, pre-bent D-ring, no D-ring over here, same grade inflator, and this one has, all three of these have, so that if you pull on this, it will vent from this back left shoulder. One of the things that this one has is this chest strap actually has a stretchy elastic right here to make it more comfortable. The woman's doesn't have the stretchy to it, but it has a removable. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. All of this is pretty much the same on the 2017 in the backpack right here. You can grab this handle back here that's in the backpack on this one. Now, on the new one, this pad comes all the way up and covers that piece of plastic. And if I reach in here, I can actually feel the same handle that's in that backpack on that 2017. It's in here. It's just for stylization or style. They've covered it up here so you can't reach it, which kind of makes you wonder why they didn't just change that back plate a little bit, but of course it's just for economy and that sort of thing. The stitching is all black on here. Even the stitching on the lettering is muted. It has exactly the same zippers, exactly the same Sherlock weight system and such. So pretty much it's exactly feature-wise the same as the 2017 unit. Pro HD Woman has got some really cool styling cues. It's got the same sort of backpack. Here's your chest strap, and this chest strap is actually removable. Again, same D-ring, same right shoulder dump, same left shoulder dump, same no left D-ring here. Same weight pocket system, same grommets, same D-rings. One thing you're gonna notice, and I'm gonna try to get a good shot right here. You see how this is cut up in a curve? It's cut for a female's hip. And of course, one of the big differences between this BC and those BCs is the length of the torso between the top of the bolster and right up here underneath the strap, so that it's more comfortable for the female form. And besides that, it's pretty much the same when you look at it from the front. Now, I'm gonna turn it and let you take a look at one of the big differences. The big difference in those two and this one is that this bladder, remember I showed you on the Pro HD Compact how that bladder had a little bit of a fold in it, whereas this one has a big fold in it. It's cut, and this got this elastic on it, so this acts a little bit like a hybrid, and this comes from the Aqua Pearl, which has a same sort of feature. To me, even though they call it the Pro HD, it has a lot of features of the Aqua Pearl, which is an extremely popular ladies BCD. Now I'm going to turn it on around. And back here, again, we've got our right shoulder dump, we've got our pull dump on this side. And one of the differences, and I'm going to show you in a second on the man's HD. So back here, this valve strap actually is a handle. So whereas the other ones, they have a valve strap, but they're not as strongly built as this to act as a handle, because remember, you don't have that handle on the inside. So it's on the outside back here. And of course, this is going to come up and go around your tank valve. When we look down here, and this is a slightly different backpack than the one that's on the men's, and this actually has the word Sequest right here. And Sequest, if you're not familiar, actually was a division of Aqua. And so they still have some of these backpacks, and this is the same backpack that's on the Aqua Pearl. And we've got our nice plastic cam tank strap, and we've got trim pockets back here. I love trim pockets, they're great. And both of these are all, I should say all three of these have an outside right butt dump back here. I'm gonna turn the men's back around so you can see them, and we'll close this out. And what we're gonna see is we have a valve strap up here, nice and long so it works well. It's not as strong as that female version that I showed you over there. We've still got our left shoulder pull dump, we've got our right shoulder pull dump. We've got a bit of a pad and mount for the tank with a nice curve and a couple of friction pads in here. And we've got a plastic cam tank strap, and we've got 2 trim pockets. So, and a butt dump. So basically the features as far as the back of this are exactly the same as what's on the female version and what's on Pro HD 2017. All right, so that's a quick look at the Pro HDs. And of course, that's the 2017 back there, the Pro HD man, the Pro HD woman's. I kind of went over the little features and little differences and such for you. And hopefully, if one of these is in your future, reach down and hit that link down there in the description. It'll take you over to the website and you can pick one of these up for yourself. Now, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you're already diving one of these, please leave a comment down there. Again, I'm Bob Collins for Diver Supply. Appreciate you watching. Dive safe out there. See you again soon.